Welcome to the Slumbering Isles. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got Breeding Pool and Dark Depths with... Man, if that wasn't Dark Depths, I would keep on this one. If we hit another land, we are definitely online for... Yeah, I think we're going to keep on this one. This is a little bit of a riskier hand, and we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we run into another land with that Impulse. Yeah, I can't pass that up. Explosive Vegetation to Kodama's Reach. Let's lead off with Breeding Pool. Not going to pay 2 life. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing the Slumbering Isles, so hopefully you're here to have a nice vacation. Enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slumber counters on it. Then, as long as it has a slumber counter, it's a land. And then whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from it. Last but not least, add 2 mana to your mana pool. Do we hit a land? Come on. All right, Lonely Sandbar. That is, we'll take it. It's better than nothing. Let's go and get that down, and that'll put us on Impulse. So hopefully, if we don't hit the land for Kodama's Reach, then we'll at least be able to dig with a land off of Impulse, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Playing against the Church of Athreos. So, really excited. I always enjoy playing against Athreos, and I don't know why Athreos art's not popping up. That always bothers me, but is what it is. So we're playing against Athreos. Indestructible, Devotion 7 turns into a creature. Then whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. And let's give a quick little shout out to our sponsors real quick. Let's see what we draw into though. Draw into Kamal. Okay. So let's see if we can't make the land drop. Let's go for Impulse. We're going to look at the top 4 cards of our library, and basically we're just looking for a land at this point. Or if we want to ramp, we can go for 3 visits next turn. Yeah. Well, either way, we're making the land drop. Yeah, we'll just grab Polluted Delta because we don't want to get behind on land drops. So put those on the bottom in any order. Get down Polluted Delta, and then we'll pass turn back over to our opponent. But yes, shout out to MTGOTraders.com. Let's say you want to build your very own vacation destination for all of your friends to see. Hit up MTGOTraders. They're your #1 source for Commander Online. And yeah, card prices are pretty low right now. So if you're thinking about getting into Magic Online, you typically, buy most of your core components to a commander deck for around $50 and you're set to go. When I say $50, that's like dual sources, that's shocks, that's fetches, stuff like that. And then you can slowly build your decks from there. So it is definitely a good time to get into Magic Online. And also, shout out to inkgaming.com. Use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order and help the channel out at the same time. So let's grab Tropical Island. There we go. And then let's see what we draw into. Pretty much going to be on Kodama's Reach this turn. We just basically want to ramp. So let's go Kodama's Reach. And it'll also allow us to get the extra land down. Then we can go for Explosive Vegetation next turn. So let's go Island. Let's grab Forest. Let's put the Forest on the battlefield. Let's put down Island. And then we'll pass the turn back over to our opponent. And also, let's say that you really enjoy one of my thumbnails and you would love to show it off to your friends as a desktop wallpaper for personal use on your home computer. I do have a link down in the description below to any of my thumbnail art for you to show off. So check them out. And that's going to be it. Now it is free time. We can talk about whatever we want. And that's going to be our brand new deck. Not brand new deck, but actually made some really nice changes or added some new cards to the deck, which I'm really excited to talk about. We draw into Scalding Tarn. I think we just ramp on this one. I like that. Especially if we're staring down a Jitte. Yeah, that's fine. So we go for Explosive Vegetation. We're going to grab 2 basics, put them on the battlefield. And yeah, I think at this point, we're going to go double Forest. If we're planning on going some sort of Kamal action, I think I kind of like that. We'll get down Scalding Tarn. And then anything else, kick it back over to our opponent. But yeah, we did add the new Hydroid Krasis to the deck, which I'm really excited about. Hopefully we can find that. And then also added Biogenic Ooze. We added Wild Reclamation, which is the new enchantment that allows us to untap all of our lands, which is just a silly card. I love it. And also added Repudiate, and then I can't remember the other end of the card. But that's pretty much what you want in a deck like this, is that split card. You can exile a creature, and then at the same time, you can also counter a target activated ability, which is really good. So opponent's going to get down Angel Finality. Enters the battlefield, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. That's fine, yeah, it's not the end of the world. The only thing is that we'll cut off Snapcaster, but we can still rebuild the Snapcaster value engine. So they're going to get a little bit of extra life off of this, so we might be playing against some sort of Angel Athreos build. Should be pretty cool. And then that's going to put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, let's see what we draw into. It's going to be, Sylvan Awakening. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, if we go for Mind's Dilation, Yeah, I think I like that. I love this card. This is one of those, yeah, if you can get it down a little bit quicker and you can get a few extra free extra spells, I'll definitely take it. So we'll get down Dark Depths and then we'll pass the turn to our opponent. Now, the only downside is that it does put them on Jitte on their Angel. They can get the Angel going, but thankfully with Kamal, with Sylvan Awakening, that's definitely going to allow us to really put some pressure on our opponent. We can even go for something like just straight up Sylvan Awakening as a value play for next turn, and then followed up with Kamal to turn all of our lands into little 1/1 creatures, which is always fun, and kind of go from there. But yeah, those are the new cards we added to the deck. And if you haven't seen this before, this is basically a straight up sound the Simic Alarm style deck to where we just want to ramp as quickly as possible and just have a ton of fun. And I love, basically it's just a Sylvan Awakening deck is basically what it boils down to. And I guess, so we go for Commander. That'll give us a little bit of extra mana for next turn. And that's going to put us at getting down Azusa? That'll be an extra body on the battlefield because it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. Because, like I mentioned with Kamal, yeah, we're going to take the Slumbering counter off. And then once we get down Kamal, we can use that activated ability to get some really nice trample effects going, too. And then anything else will pass it back over to our opponent. So if we can get a few more lands going, we can also get down Spore Mound, and that's going to allow us to get some of those 1/1 green sapling creature tokens, and really kind of go from there. But it's enough Magic talk. So yesterday, where I live, we met this this other couple that they I think they're from New York actually, and they bought a little farmhouse in our town. And they have a milk cow, and they have another cow, and they have a bunch of chickens. And so they invited us over yesterday for some freshly milked White Russians, and that was pretty good. It was pretty cool. So we got to go out there. We got to milk the cow. I've never milked a cow before. Let's get the Banishing Light going. Swamp. And sorry, I was trying to see it, make sure we were looking at the correct thing. And probably going to be going for Mind's Dilation. No, they're going to go for Azusa. Okay. But yeah, so I got to milk a cow yesterday. That was the first time I've ever done that. I've basically trained my entire life. I've played Harvest Moon my entire life. So to finally be able to put my Harvest Moon skills to actual use in real life, it felt pretty good. So we milked the cow, and then after that, we had some homemade Kahlua, and we made some White Russians. If you don't know what a White Russian is, it is vodka, it's Kahlua, and you use cream or milk, and it was that was good, really good. All right, we're drawn to pull from tomorrow. Okay, so we've got some options. So we end up going for Sylvan Awakening. That'll definitely allow us to get in for a pretty good chunk of damage. And then next turn, we can even follow it up with Snapcaster Sylvan Awakening. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. I've only got 2 mana up at this point. That'll be a really good chunk of damage. Yeah, let's go for Sylvan Awakening. That'd be 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove a Slumber counter from our commander, but at the same time, it's still going to be a 2/2. Yes, we're definitely use that ability. Look at that. All right, so we're going to swing it with the whole crew. And that's going to be 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And that's going to be... Now, if they want to, they can use some of these Jitte counters to give it -1, -1. That's fine. If we use a couple lands, that's also works too. The main thing is we're going to get rid of these Jitte counters, being able to give their Angel some extra counters, and then anything else not kick it back over there. And it looks like, yeah, no Jitte counters, so we can survive that. And then they turn into... Oh, I didn't realize that they just straight up become lands. I always thought it was just a temporary deal. Okay, so they're indestructible lands now, so we can really start putting some pressure on our opponent. Every time I've always cast Sylvan Awakening, it's always been to close the game out. I didn't realize that it was permanent, so that's pretty cool. So we'll still be able to swing in next turn. They will have to get some sort of Jitte action going. They're going to get the charge counters on there that will allow them to at least take care of 2 of our lands. Destroy target enchantment. We'll still get the dilation trigger though. And unfortunately, we're only hitting lands off of this dilation. Yeah, and unfortunately, we can't cast it because it is it's a land card. So little bit of a bummer, but we've at least kind of put the pressure on our opponent. We've awakened all of our lands, and we're just basically going to keep swinging in. And now if we do run into a Toxic Deluge, whew, that's not going to be too good. But at least at this point, we've got the lands going, and then we can push in. It does feel good to be swinging in with Dark Depths. When it's not a Merit Lage token, that's still pretty cool. But yeah, so when I was talking about Snapcaster and Sylvan Awakening, I've completely forgot that this is a permanent effect, so that's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, back to the White Russian. So I milked the cow, and we made homemade White Russians with it, and it was really nice. And they also made some stew that they fed us. So it was just like the best night ever. We got to milk their cow, we had White Russians, and she's like, well, if y'all having a bunch of drinks, I've got to at least give you dinner. And so she had some stew that they had made and jarred, and it was like the best stew ever. It was just, it felt like the old days or something. I don't know how to describe it, but it was really cool to get homemade White Russians and get a big old pot of stew to close the night out. So that was a lot of fun. And definitely looking forward to hanging out with them again, because that was, I don't know, I like farm stuff. There's a reason I've played a bunch of Harvest Moon stuff over time, and that's pretty much why. So our opponent's going to get the +2 on there. That's going to make it a 7-8. That can make it a 9-8, but I think we can actually keep up just a little bit quicker with our opponent by swinging in with our creature. So we're just going to keep the crew swinging in on this one, I think. And we draw on the command tower. We'll get down command tower. No, it does go away. Excuse me. Until your next turn. There we go. That's what I thought. I thought it blanked out after our next turn, but they stayed into creatures. So that still does put us on the Snapcaster 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Or if we want to, we can just go for a straight up huge pull from tomorrow. So I was right on that Sylvan Awakening. I was in the middle of Storytime, so that's kind of why I missed that. Yeah, I think we go for Snapcaster again. And then that puts us on maybe going for something like Kamal the following turn. Yeah, I like that. Let's keep the pressure up. Let's just keep the Sylvan Awakening pressure up. All right, so we're going to remove a counter from our commander. And then let's go Sylvan Awakening. And we're actually going to tap down our commander to add that double mana to our mana pool. And we'll tap down Dark. No, excuse me. We don't want to remove that on there. We'll tap down just one forest, and we'll go for that Sylvan Awakening. Remove an additional +1 counter from it, or the Silver counter. Yes, going to use that ability. And that'll allow us to basically just kind of squeeze in past that angelic page on their side of the battlefield. So let's go and right-click Attack All. That's going to be 7 creatures coming across. That will be 14. And then we'll decide to see what sort of... if we can get a few extra Kamal activations once it's on the battlefield, that might be the difference next turn, especially with having something like Snapcaster down too. So be swinging with all of our creatures. And it reminds me of that Legacy deck where it's like the auras or the, what is it? There's a Legacy deck where they get the Leyline deck where they just get all the Leylons on the battlefield and they turn it. All right, Pota's going to scoop it up on this one, so I'll definitely go and post this one up. They've Sylvaned out. Tap out on the Sylvan Awakening. So, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.